Phil, and as we approach Christmas, we have another Makers project for STEM students. So if we look at what we're trying to achieve, let's have a look at the objectives. So previously we were learning about coding using the MicroPython library. We learned a bit about communications, and we were using the microbit computer. So this time we're going to focus on UIFlow and the C++ on the Arduino IDE. So the projects we previously looked at over the last few years included lights and music, and we continue that this year. In the previous video, we looked at music. Now we're going to look at lights, Christmas lights. And we're going to start off with very simple lights, a strip of lights. And the first one's going to be on the Nano computer. So the desktop looks like this. And the computer is a clone of the Arduino Nano, and it's called the Seeeduino Nano, and it's driving a strip of neopixels, and there are 30 in the strip. And the idea is that we want to animate that and change the color pattern. So we have rainbows and a theta chaser. Now, the important thing in the hardware is you have to make sure that the current that's produced from the computer is enough to drive 30 LEDs. Okay, so let's have a look at the objective. We want to demonstrate neopixels on the Seeeduino Nano. And hardware-wise, we're going to use from Seeed Studio, the Seeed Studio Nano computer. And we need a Grove carrier to put the Nano computer in. And we're going to use the Grove WS2812 waterproof LED strips. And there are 30 in that. And code-wise, we're going to use the Arduino IDE. We're also doing a similar project, and the code for that, we'll have a look at that one. So the code here is using a standard live or standard examples from Adafruit for the NeoPixel test strip. And you can see that we're including the Adafruit library, and we have to configure the NeoPixel strip for our number of LEDs, the LED count, where on our computer, which pin we're using, and the configuration for our NeoPixel strip. And the only ones we're actually using for this one is the theta chaser rainbow. And it's quite a short program, right on the bottom. Most of the work is done by the library. So you can see how it's working. And just these few strips down here, we're just circling around 30 times and pushing to the next LED in the strip. Okay, so we got the results that we wanted to achieve, and we've been working on the core computer, and this is what it looks like. It's a neopixel, so it doesn't have to just be a linear strip. we've got similar objectives to what we had before. And the hardware-wise, this time we're using the core computer, and we're using the NeoHex arrangement of neopixels. Software-wise, it's quite similar to what we did before. And this time we're going to look at the rainbow. So here's our program. We're doing the color white and the rainbow. So you can see the color white and the theater chaser is just there. The only other thing we have to consider is that when we want to do a program that lights up Santa, so this project is going to look at measuring. We're going to put fibre optics inside the case of Santa, and we turn Santa upside down. We're going to illuminate Santa with plenty of fibre optics. So the idea is that we're going to use the hex neopixel array, and we want to make those as bright as possible so that we can see what Santa looks like. And the objective here is to provide a light source for Santa, and we're going to use the changing rainbow. We'll be using the M5Stack Fire, and the units we're using are the unit hex. And here are some of the other resources that we're using. And the key challenge for this project is to know how bright we can set the LEDs so that we can see Santa. And to do that, we have to measure the current. And while Christmas is a fun time, if you get it wrong, you could have disastrous consequences. So in the next video, we're going to look at how we could measure the current in our light strip, and that will allow us to determine how many LEDs we can have on that light strip. And that's it for me. Stay tuned, and I'll give you a desktop demonstration. Here we have the Seeeduino Nano computer, and on port 2, or D2, we've got the neopixels, also from Seeeduino, and this is the waterproof WS2813, and there are 30 in the strip. Now we slow down the events, and we have a rotation which is a bit slower. Here we have Santa illuminated by the LEDs on the bottom, and these LEDs, the light projects into fibre optics on the top, and it's all controlled with a M5Stack Fire computer. So this is Santa, and we might see if we can get his colours. Hello Santa, I love your colours. And that's Santa with coloured lights.